Sanjay, I can't help but think about Microsoft Nuance, right? And the AI and industry focus there, looking at what Google Cloud and C3 are trying to do here. Do you think this is going to help them accelerate, maybe try to catch up with AWS?
Yeah, I think this is classically sort of out of the playbook of SAP. It's very clear in anything, software infrastructure, but also in the cloud, that as you move up stack into application and industry solutions, that you get more value. It's like selling to the CEO versus selling to the CIO or CTO. So I think this is good for both companies. Google is at number 3, but bet behind Thomas and Rob Enslin at your own peril. They're a good team. This for C3, they had announced 3 years ago a partnership with AWS, last year with Azure, now with Google. So I see this as being multi-cloud, and data is the new oil of the economy, and AI is the engine. So this is good for both companies. We'll have to see how it plays out.
And Thomas Curry, I mean, you know all these guys, but you guys were at those mortal enemy companies, SAP and Oracle, a while back. Is this similar to what happened 20 years ago when we saw Oracle buy PeopleSoft and then a bunch of other companies trying to go at very specific types of solutions to grow its enterprise footprint? Is it a similar playbook?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to work on all the multi-cloud partnerships with VMware, so I got to watch the inside of AWS, Azure, and Google. And Thomas and I are very good friends. Even though we competed at SAP and Oracle, it was a little bit like LeBron and Kobe. But I respect a lot of what they're doing. Listen, the cloud market's a $100 billion market run rate in the last quarter after AWS, Azure, and Google reported growing 40%. This is incredible. About $1 trillion of spend, about 25% has moved to the cloud, and the rest will move. Not all of it, but at least 50%. So I have not seen a growth phenomenon of this kind. And that's part of the reasons the valuations are not just these 3 companies, but many others in the cloud is stupendous.
But what about Amazon and AWS specifically? We got Andy Jassy, now CEO of Amazon overall, no longer holding the reins directly of AWS. Does that open up opportunities for competitors, perhaps, with the original boss not in that seat anymore?
I think, listen, all 3 of these companies can do well. I don't think it's a winner take all. Clearly Amazon's got a head start. They were way ahead of everybody. I think Jeff Bezos talked about it, like a 5-year head start. And they're about a $55 billion run rate company. So no one's going to catch them at number 1 anytime soon. But Azure is creeping up there. They're about 30 billion in run rate. And then Google's distant third. But they've come a long way. And they were the fastest growing player. So when you have 54% growth rate for Google in the last quarter, 51% for Azure, and 37% for AWS, respectively, number 3, 2, and 1, I think the growth rate of all of these is going to see. And I saw, when I was talking to customers, a significant move of workloads to any one of these 3 clouds. And many of them are now becoming specialized in their areas. AWS was good with developers, Azure for kind of use cases, the enterprise like Office 365, and Google for AI.